Now, he has been described as the innocent victim of a senseless act. 31-year-old Matthew Wilson was visiting his girlfriend in the US city of Atlanta when he was shot by a stray bullet fired outside while he was lying in bed.
Police in America have begun a murder inquiry and appeal for witnesses, but no one has been arrested. His sister, Kate, joins us now from Matthew's hometown of Chertsey in Surrey. Kate, thank you so much for being with us this morning. I'm so sorry for your loss as well. First of all, how are you doing? How is the rest of the family doing this morning?
Yeah, it's difficult to describe how we're doing. It's we're struggling, but we're surviving. We're just trying to understand and compute what has happened to my brother.
And that must be one of the really difficult things, Kate, because talk us through it. What do we know about what happened to Matt and this awful situation?
I mean, we know that there were a group of individuals at a nearby apartment complex firing guns. We don't know how many, perhaps 2, we believe. And that at the moment that my brother and his girlfriend chose to call the police, a bullet came through the wall and struck my brother in the head, and here we are now.
And what information have you had from the police about just sort of how it happened and how something like this could have happened?
We don't really know. We haven't had any information really about how it happened or who was involved. They don't really know anything. Unfortunately, due to the nature of the situation, it was too dangerous for the police to go and investigate the individual shooting at the time. They had to sort of stand back and wait till it was safe to go to my brother and see what was happening.
And talk us through what happened after that, because he was taken to hospital, wasn't he? And you were at least able to fly over and see him, is that right?
I was, yeah. So I tried to get over as soon as I heard the news, and I arrived about 36 hours after the incident happened. But unfortunately, my brother was already... the bullet caused too much damage to his brain. He was brain dead. There was very little chance he was ever going to wake up. And he was officially pronounced the following day.
And he'd gone there, hadn't he, to visit his girlfriend, Catherine. So, you know, how is she dealing with all of this?
I don't know how to describe how she's dealing with it, and I admire her, and she's an amazing individual, and I can't imagine what she's going through. It must be really tough. But yeah, she's traumatised and she's heartbroken, and she needs some time to digest what's happened. As
I'm sure you and the rest of the family do this morning, and I know you say you admire the way she's dealing with it. I'm sure all our viewers will admire the way that you are here and able to talk about your brother this morning as well. And also, as a family, as a sister, how you even begin to get your head around what was clearly just such a senseless act.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's not just me who's lost my brother. My parents have lost their son. My son has lost his uncle. And everyone who knew my brother and held him dear has lost a wonderful friend. It's a real senseless act.
You told us that you weren't getting much information from police at the moment. What needs to be done to try and get justice for your brother? Because as we were saying in the introduction, as at this moment, there have been no arrests made by police.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not... Somebody knows who did this. Somebody has information. So we need this story to get out there, especially in Atlanta and in Georgia and around that area. We need the public to know about what happened and for someone to come forward, because somebody knows who did this and somebody knows who was responsible. It's also important for us that that person knows that they've done this, because maybe they don't even know what happened, because the bullet went into a building, you know, they didn't see the aftermath of it. And it's really important that they know what their actions have done and what they've taken from us.
And you say there, you know, what they've taken from you. Tell us a bit about your brother. What sort of guy was he?
I mean, I think that the outpouring of love that's come from everybody who knew Matt around the world has been a real sign of what a wonderful person he was. But he truly was a joy to be around. He was that typical big brother to me, you know, growing up. And as an adult, he was a wonderful uncle to my son, and he's just a wonderful friend. His friends are really going to miss him, as are we in the family.
It's great to speak to you about this morning and to try and raise a bit of awareness of this case. I wondered how much coverage this is getting in America at the moment. Is that something you're trying to change as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to up the coverage in America. I know that the local newspapers in Atlanta did pick up the story, but it hasn't really taken off. It was on the morning news, I believe, earlier in the week, but it's not drawn the same attention as it has in the UK, and that's what we're really wanting to do. We really need to get the story out there so that people in the area and around that location can see what happened and maybe come forward with information that helps us find the person responsible.
And Kate, have you got plans to go back to America? Because it must be impossible at the minute trying to, pressurise those who are investigating this, but also look after the rest of the family.
Yeah, exactly. I would prefer not to go back to Atlanta. I mean, my brother was shot and killed in bed, so if he wasn't safe there, I don't feel safe being in the country at all, I'm afraid. So I don't currently have any plans to go back to America, but that could change if there's some reason to go back that might help find the person who did this, then yeah, for sure I would go.
Well, can I just say that we really appreciate you talking to us this morning, and again, we're so sorry for your loss. That's Kate Wilson, who is the sister of Matthew Wilson, who was sadly killed by that stray bullet in Atlanta in America.